Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing? Hello, I am now live, I think. Let me check. Let me just disconnect from a speaker. Right. Let me just check the audio is good, and then we should be good to go. Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing all right. Let's just check the audio.
Everyone, how are we all doing?
Yes.
I am now live, I think.
Yes, we're good to go. Right then. So I haven't really made an announcement today for the live stream. So it's just going to be the real members here today. The VIP. The day ones. The real ones. The real homies. Let me just play some music. Hello, Derek. How are you doing? Good to hear, Trent. Good to hear. Play some chill music. Also, I think I'm gonna doesn't matter. It's just something with my mic. Picks up quite a lot of wind. It picks up quite a lot of wind, so I'm gonna try and find a cover or something for it. I'm trying to fix that. I noticed in a lot of my videos, it's like I'm not gonna do it because then it'll be irritating. But wait, hello. Good morning. That should be an alright sound now. If I just turn that down a little bit. There we are, nice and there we go. So we are good to go. This song is poo. Let's change it. Fuck it. Who cares about the music, really? Just something on in the background, right? So, yeah. So, fundamentally, nothing really to worry about. Just we don't need to care. We don't need to look into anything. We had AUD, CPI. Although, to be fair, we have had a lot of Japanese news or Asian news in general through Asian session, and it's been big news. That's the main thing, and you'll find that when that happens, that will basically give us an onset to distribution, like an early distribution, which then delays everything, or not delays, it makes everything quicker even. So we have earlier cycles of AMD, which means we're going to be looking at the end of distribution for New York session. And I said that this morning in the market outlook, and it seems to have played out on the GJ anyway. Is GJ selling? I'll have a look now for you. So yeah, so we've had a bit of Asian news, which has given us that early distribution because of that volume, because of that volatility, because it is in fact big news. AUD not too big. You'll see AU pairs with Aussie in, they will obviously be more affected, but it's still Asian session big news, so it's going to affect a lot of markets a lot quicker. But we did get at half two, we didn't really get much, to be fair. We continued consolidating, and then we ended up distributing on GJ. But yeah, make sure you like the stream up, guys. As I said, I haven't made any announcements. It's not on my Instagram. I'm just going live. I just said it in the Discord chats. So yeah, it's the real ones, the real homies. It's going to be here just to see how it goes. So yeah, we'll start off on GJ, obviously. Then we'll work our way through all these pairs on the right-hand side. Disregarding that one because there's two GJs, but we'll work our way through, see my analysis from yesterday, and then we will see how it performed, how it played out, and then we'll make sense of the current price structure and the current price action. So starting off on GJ, pretty clear. So we've had our distribution move. This is what I was saying in the market outlook this morning, which I forgot to do last night. My fault. But if you want to catch the market outlooks, it's in the free Discord for free. First link in the description. It should be working. Yo, how's it going? But yeah, so we've distributed through through London, coming into New York, and looks like we've started consolidating, but that's the whole cycle. So we had accumulation, we had the manipulation to the downside into this 15-minute fair value gap, which is also a 4-hour fair value gap. Had a nice candlestick pattern. As always, textbook, it's that morning star candlestick pattern with the dragonfly doji or hanging man, whatever you want to call it. And then we obviously had a nice move to the upside. Now, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, I was anticipating to take out this liquidity over here, and on the 1 hour as well. I think it's more accurate. Yeah, this over here on the 1 hour, this low right here, I was targeting. I wasn't in a trade. I didn't take this move. This was a bit early for me. I think I was asleep. But I was targeting or looking to finish distributing around about this area after taking out this liquidity. We can get rid of this now. We obviously have got that. We have obviously got that daily liquidity up here, which would be looking to take out ultimately. But in more of a short-term analysis, more of a short-term thing, we have basically took out internal liquidity. Now, externally on the daily, looking at AMD, externally, we've had this accumulation, manipulation to the upside. I caught a swing trade down, and I got took break even. I think I got in at this fair value gap here. We got took in there. I got took in. I got took out there. Break even. So, yeah, that's the daily. 4-hour, we took liquidity. 15-minute, this is what's going on internally. We've had this entire cycle of AMD. Now, what comes after distribution? Manipulation, obviously, or expansion. But it looks like we are starting to accumulate. So we just got to wait for that confirmation. And as I said, we've had, early cycles of AMD. We've had entire cycles pretty early in the morning. So coming into 12 o'clock, we've had an entire cycle already today. And it's not very likely that we get 2 cycles every day, or 2 cycles in a day, really. So we would probably be looking to either cool down, maybe come back around here, just slightly retrace and then consolidate, or just consolidate from here from the get-go at the end of distribution. But that's what's happened. And now I've explained what happened, I can explain what I think will happen in the future. Now, I'm just going to get rid of this. We don't really need these pieces here. I'm going to keep this little distribution box because we haven't actually started accumulating yet. It looks like we're about to, but we'll see what happens with this move down. Now, if we are going to accumulate around here, go into a higher time frame, what I'd like to see, we would need an hourly because we have been quite bullish. Suppose this was the accumulation here. Straight to this. Yeah, okay. So what we'd like to see really is a bit more of a move up. So if we maybe push up a little bit more, take out this eventually, and then we want to see some form of accumulation around about here. Now it can be here, it can be there, it can be even higher up around about here. But what we'd want to see is this accumulation, obviously. Once we've had that accumulation, we'd look to manipulate to the upside. Why the upside? Because we've got fair value gaps here, so it just makes sense to push up and try and respect that. So we'd have like some form of fake out, I guess you could call it, but we'd move up basically into this 4-hour fair value gap, which is obviously the monthly as well. Then we'd look at a distribution move to the downside, maybe towards this 4-hour fair value gap over here. So that's what I'd like to see. That's what I'm going to wait for, and only trade if we get. Was expecting a fall from GJ. Yeah, it makes sense to have a fall, but the thing is, if you trade fair value gaps, you'll know that we don't really go into the wick of it, like the outsides of it. Like we don't do this. We never just go here and then go up like that. We don't really ever do that. We do it, but we don't really do it much. What happens more often than not is we come into the fair value gap, like into the middle, which is obviously like that PD, premium discount range. I don't really use that, but some people do. That would be classed as the discount. So we'd come around into the middle area and then continue up. So because we know that, because we know that, we'd expect that to happen on the monthly time frame, wouldn't we? So if we go to the monthly, you know, the weekly, blah, 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 we've got a fair value gap right here, which we haven't really came into. We've touched it, like we just poked it and then ran off. But we'd be looking to actually come into this area properly, like the middle kind of. That's what you'd want to target. So we want that to happen on the monthly. And the way that would make sense with AMD is obviously a manipulation to the upside, testing that, then we respect it and continue down. So if we're to, like, I'm not saying, just a disclaimer, I'm not saying that this is definitely going to happen. We could continue straight up. What's likely to happen is this. This is more than likely to happen, but it's not definite. If this happens, if this plays out, if we start accumulating, then we manipulate to the upside. That is perfect. That is the only scenario where I'll take my trade, is if we manipulate up into this 4 hour. We can accumulate inside of it and manipulate inside of it. If we accumulate and manipulate into the 4 hour, then I'll look for my candlestick pattern, which is obviously a morning star. Then we take that entry wherever it is. Stops will be just above the monthly, which is like the perfect stop loss, and my take profit will be halfway into here. Maybe even looking to take out this external liquidity over here. If we just draw that out. So we'd look at taking that out. So maybe even just targeting a little bit below it. But that's what I'd want to see. That is the best case scenario. And that is the only scenario where I'm going to trade. If we accumulate, manipulate to the upside, and then we can distribute it to the downside. Just like this. So yeah, it's important to do this, guys, especially if you're new to trading. You want to set your expectations for the market. It helps with discipline. It helps to stick to your plan, and it also just helps with increasing your win rate, because you know exactly what you want to see, and you just wait for it to happen. So that's that. Like, that is literally as simple as it gets, guys. I'm just gonna get rid of this for now. Actually, we don't really need to get rid of it. It's not too overwhelming. What we could do is, if we want to, just put it over here instead. I just like to keep my charts clean. You'll notice that a lot, guys. I do just like to keep my charts clean. The cleaner the charts, the easier it is to read, and, you know, the harder it is to make a mistake. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's GJ. That's what I'm expecting to see. That's what I want to see, and that's the only scenario I'm going to trade if we get. Is an accumulation, manipulate up into this 4 hour, and distribute to the downside. So now that's out the way. Now we've set our expectations. This is the fun part. We can go about our day. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Good morning, Rodrigo. Hope you're doing well. But we can do whatever the fuck we want now. We can go anywhere we want. Just check your phone every like hour, every like half hour, every 45 minutes, whatever it is. Just check your phone regularly, or set alerts. And that is this is the beauty of trading, to be honest with you. But yeah, so now we've done that, we can literally go about our day. So how we're going to do that is just move on to some other pairs. So yesterday I was looking at this is on Bitcoin now, guys. Yesterday I was looking at a distribution move to the downside. I was anticipating. We got a manipulation off of the thingy. The red news. There we go. We got there in the end. The red news we had yesterday is what gave us that manipulation to the downside. We tried to take this out. We didn't really. I was expecting to come to this fair value gap. Didn't really. Now, well, we didn't at all. Now, I was obviously expecting this. We got this. We got the opposite of that, sorry. We got a move down and then a move up into this BPR. And then I actually did take a trade here. I'm still undefeated though. I took a trade. I think it was like here at this candle flip. And I think my take profit was like just here. Now, that was because of the BPR. What's a BPR? An overlapping fair value gap. This is probably I think we went over this yesterday, but this is like a textbook example. We've got literally, I think it's on the 30-minute maybe. On the 30-minute, yeah, look. Literally perfect. So the third candle of the bullish fair value gap is also the first candle of the bearish fair value gap. And if you look at like the wicks, like they're literally almost exactly in line. That is a fair value gap on steroids. So I literally just took it off of it. So when we came into it, see here, the little like gray area, we came into it, wicked off of it. When this candle flipped or started to flip, this one, I got in, and I moved my stop loss to break even very quickly. When we broke through this fair value gap, it made sense to move my stops to break even, because then if we then obviously break back through the fair value gap, it invalidates the whole trade, which it did. So it was perfect trade management, perfect everything really. Maybe it was a bit of a greedy entry, but we got away break even, which is nice. So we can get rid of all this now, but I needed to explain all of that, well, especially the AMD stuff, so I can now explain what I'm going to anticipate next. So if we just get rid of all that, drag this distribution out, we then started accumulating, we then started accumulating straight after that distribution move, as you can see right here. Now this is obviously more of an external thing, probably like, the 1 hour. And then we've obviously moved to the downside. Now, I guess a few people might have seen this. Like this to happen. So we've literally, like, this is technically my textbook stuff. So we'd have a manipulation here, and we'd look to basically trade the distribution. We've respected the fair value gap, and we've formed a nice candlestick pattern. But we didn't do it on the 15. So we didn't do it on the 15. And when it does happen, you kind of want to aim to get it inside the fair value gap, not outside the fair value gap, because I think I explained this morning, but the whole idea of me waiting for a candlestick pattern is not just because the candlestick pattern is an incredible signal and it works every single time. It's because it's a sign that we are going to respect the fair value gap. But if we've already respected the fair value gap and then we form that candle, that's invalid to me. I don't use the candlestick patterns that way. I use it as a sign that we're going to respect, or we are currently respecting, the fair value gap that we're inside of. So a lot of people who trade Bitcoin and also maybe watch this may have got caught out in that, but I didn't take that. Loss avoided, because I'm the best. Can you check Euro AUD? I will check that once I've ran through the list of pairs on here already. Because I analysed these yesterday. I just want to show you my analysis and how it performed. So we got AMD. We got exactly what I wanted. It was we didn't get exactly what I wanted. We got what I wanted. It was just in the opposite direction. So I was expecting a manipulation to the downside. A distribution to the downside, but we actually got a distribution to the upside. But yeah, so I'm not going to take this. And it also could be just a what's it called? AD distribution. Now, yeah. Also, I'm dying to close this month with 0 losses. So far this month, I have not lost a single trade. And I think it ends on Monday. This month ends on Monday. I'm really trying to secure a 0 loss month. But, yeah, so I'm a bit all over the place today. So, yeah, that's Bitcoin. I'm just going to leave this. It's a bit messy. We're inside of this move. We have seemingly got some form of consolidation here, but, it's just a bit messy. We may end up moving up. But I'm not going to take it. It's not as clean as I want it to be. If this, let's say this fair value gap, let's say we formed this candlestick pattern inside of the fair value gap, then maybe I would take it, but we haven't, so I'm not going to. And that's because off the fair value gap, we're expecting, obviously, a bullish reaction. The candlestick pattern is bullish, so it's not like we've got the fair value gap and we've got the bullish reaction and we're waiting for the bullish reaction. Then we've got a nice bullish candlestick pattern. It's like we've had the bullish reaction from the fair value gap, but that bullish reaction is the candlestick pattern. So it's not like they're both the same confluence. It's like the fair value gap was the confluence to form the candlestick pattern. Does that make sense? I think a bit of that is intuition, obviously. Like the difference between me and you is I've traded this strategy for years now. I think it is coming on. I think it's over 3 years now, actually. Speaking of that, Yeah, I think it's over 3 years. But yeah, so that's Bitcoin. Gold. So gold, yesterday we were looking at I caught this move. I caught this distribution to the downside, and then we completely reversed, which is the reversal or expansion phase. Completely reversed, then we accumulated, then we manipulated, then we distributed, then we accumulated, then we manipulated, then we distributed. But the thing is, we did actually end up getting this move to the upside, which I wanted. But the thing is, with this trade, I actually avoided a loss here because I'm literally the greatest trader in the world that ever existed to ever exist ever. But we basically formed the candlestick pattern, but there was no higher time frame fair value gap. We got a 15, and there's a 15 here as well, but that's it. There's no 30-minute, there's no 1 hour, there's no 4 hour, and it's probably also because we are at pretty much all-time highs. These are the all-time highs, but we're at all-time highs, I guess. Now, the thing is, a lot of people probably would have got caught in that, and I think I did actually signal that in my Discord, but I said I'm not going to take it. That is because there's no high time frame fair value gap, and I'm only looking for grade A plus setups. Literally the best of the best setups for the rest of this week. The best price action. I want the cleanest price action, and I'm only going to trade the cleanest price action. We did get a manipulation into a fair value gap, only it's the 15, and it's a bit of a small, sloppy one. So, yeah. Loss avoided there. We may end up distributing to the downside. I'm not saying we won't. We may end up just distributing to the upside. But what I'm saying is, we didn't get a manipulation into a 1 hour fair value gap. We got the manipulation. We got a move outside the accumulation range. But it wasn't into a 1 hour, it wasn't into a 4 hour, it wasn't into a 30-minute fair value gap. It was literally just into a 15-minute fair value gap. And, you know, I look for the higher time frame, and I look for the candlestick pattern to form inside of the higher time frame. That's it. So I didn't take that trade. Loss avoided there as well. You can't catch me. But yeah, so with gold, again, it's the same thing. I guess you could look for another entry to the like to take a sell position if you want to. I'm not going to, but if you want to, you can. There is this fair value gap here, but just because we are at like all-time highs, there's no real fair value gap. There's not really any structure to the left-hand side for us to rely on, which we usually do. So it's a little bit risky to take sells. I found distribution in your GBP. Would you confirm me? Yeah, I'll have a look in a second. So GU as well. Accumulation. I don't trade this, so just quickly going to skim over it. Accumulation, distribution, expansion. Next, we're looking for an accumulation. That's honestly, I can bore you with all the drawing the boxes and stuff, but in short, that's what you want to wait for, an accumulation. You'll notice a common trend, like I always wait for the accumulation. Sometimes it's too late to get into the trade. I always wait for the accumulation near enough. Now, that's GU. Just wait for the accumulation. USD JPY, what happened here? Accumulation, distribution. I think I actually avoided a loss here as well. I can't really remember what was going on. I think. Oh, yeah. See this here? See how we... Yeah, I'll draw it for you now very quickly. See how we accumulated here, manipulated to the downside, formed this candlestick pattern after respecting a fair value gap. Perfect. But there's no context for the trade. So with that, I mean, like, you want a higher time frame, takes on liquidity, or high time frame fair value gaps for us to form these candlestick patterns inside of. We didn't do that. We didn't do either of those. We didn't have context because we only took 15-minute liquidity here. And I was aiming to take out this liquidity over here. So if we took that, then formed the pattern, if we formed it around about, let's say we formed the pattern here, maybe things would have played out a bit differently. As you can see, that happened right here, and we played out a little bit differently. So I guess you could have eventually took that and caught that if you go to the higher time frame. But again, a loss was avoided here, because we didn't form it inside of the fair value gap and we didn't have the context either. But that's USD JPY. I'm just going to get rid of that. GU. Yeah, we've done that. So GJ looks like it's trying to push down. Hopefully this can be a consolidation. As I said, I'm not trading unless we get that. Can you check Euro AUD? Yes, I'll have a look now. Euro AUD. And what else was it? There was another one. Euro GBP. Yeah, pretty simple. We're going to start off on the daily though. So we've got a nice daily fair value gap for us to come into here. Just took external. So we are expecting a bullish retracement. Now this bullish retracement can be to this fair value gap, and that would be perfect. There's nothing that we've just reacted off of. Like, see, if there was a fair value gap here, then maybe we would expect a bigger move, but there isn't. So it makes sense to retrace back to this daily. That's the external structure pretty much sorted. 4 hour. Looks like we're starting to accumulate on the 4 hour maybe. Again, there's a nice fair value gap there though. We're going to keep the daily. Moving to the 15. We can basically draw this out. So we've got a nice consolidation right here. Manipulation to the downside inside of this 15. Obviously, this is kind of hindsight bias, but if we just draw that, you could have took this trade and this would have been perfect. Because we took external. That's the context, as I was literally just talking about. We've took external liquidity. We've got a fair value gap here. I think this might be a 1 hour. No, it's not. So the only thing is we're not inside a 1 hour fair value gap. Maybe a 30 minute. We're in a 30 minute. Oh, I think we're inside of a inverted 30 minute. So that's a good confluence. So you could have took this trade here. Perfect. With this candlestick pattern right here for your entry. Taking a buy right here. Stops maybe just below this low. So here. And I would have targeted. Ultimately, maybe I would have targeted here. I think to say I would have targeted up here. And it's, oh yes, perfect. It was a bit of a push. Probably would have targeted here. And managed as we've gone up. But, you know, you could have gotten a nice trade here. But obviously, using this AMD price action, drawing these boxes, using this model, drawing this, you can expect either a complete move back down to here or a consolidation. Now, what makes the most sense? What makes the most sense is this. We come up into this fair value gap, then accumulate exactly what we're expecting on GJ, maybe manipulate to the upside without closing outside this range on the daily, then distribute to the downside just like this. Or we can, that's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is come into this fair value gap, and then that's the continuation of distribution, and then the expansion phase of AMD would go down, back down to the accumulation range or the supply zone. But obviously I'd target this fair value gap here. So they're the two scenarios you could trade. They're the two scenarios I'd wait for. If you want to play it safe and take the grade A setups, I would take this move. But that's what we're looking for next. Either the continuation of distribution into this fair value gap and then an expansion, or the continuation of distribution into this fair value gap and then accumulation. Hope that clears things up for you. We'll see how that performs. Euro GBP. I think you may have found. You haven't found distribution. What time frame are you on actually? Bilk 4464. What time frame are you on? No problem. Glad to help. This chair is broke. It used to like, I think this has fell off it. This, like the back of it has fell off it. Now I can go like all the way back. It used to be I used to rely on it. I used to lean back quite a bit, and now I can go all the way back. 1 hour. Okay. I don't know what the fuck I was just doing then. Sorry. No, we have not got a distribution here at all. This is crazy. Crazy swing, bro. This is pretty messy, pretty hard. Now, the way you identify AMD is what? Go back to the most recent consolidation. And we literally just, boom. This is crazy. This is extremely unsustainable. But I suppose it's probably just filling this unsustainable move. So it's filling this inefficiency there. But crazy move. That's the distribution. This could technically be the expansion. Back down to this area. But you have not caught the distribution move. You have not found the distribution move at all. This is either the expansion phase or just the cooling off before the accumulation. Expansion reversal, but you know what I mean. But that you have not caught the distribution. Sorry to say, you have not found it. But yeah, AUD USD or AUD Euro AUD. That's what I'm looking for. GU accumulate. I don't really trade that, but we came back to this fair value gap, which was nice. But looking to accumulate now, maybe. GJ's still there. I can get rid of that now. Gold. Maybe you could take a sell if you want to, if we form a candlestick pattern here. As I said, I'm not going to though. Bitcoin. You could look for buys here if you wanted to. I'm not going to. The only thing I'm looking for here today, looks like we're starting to accumulate, hopefully. The only thing I'm looking for today is this move. Unless we get this move, I am not taking any trades for the rest of the day. And it's as simple as that.
You'll find this.
Oh, sorry.
Have inside of your.
Oh yeah. Also, whilst I'm here, there's a new YouTube video on Friday coming out. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's basically going to show you this in depth with a couple examples. But yeah, I think that's it, guys. I haven't really got much else to do. This is the beauty of trading, as I said. Just, we know what to look for. Oh, sorry. Can I confirm a sell on USD CAD? I will do that right now for you. Oh, excuse me. A sell? Maybe. Maybe. Nice 1 hour here. Nicely respected. The only thing is, we've done back to 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 back fair value gaps, which means there's probably a 4 hour one here. Yep. 4 hour. Nice. So this is also a 4 hour fair value gap. And we've done also back to 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 back 4 hour fair value gaps. So we go to the daily. Probably a fair value gap there. There is a fair value gap forming. When this daily close, we'll have a valid one. Now, what's going on in the daily? Oh, I completely forgot about this. Oh shit, I think my analysis was right here. Oh well. So, bullish confluence. We've just took external sell side. Bearish confluence. We are respecting a 4-hour fair value gap. Bearish confluence. We are respecting a 1-hour fair value gap. 15-minute. Let's see what's going on here. There's a consolidation here. It looks a bit messy though. I would really just refer to this as the consolidation, but you could call it that as well if you really wanted to. Then we started pushing up quite quickly, quite efficiently, pushing up. Hulk. Oh shit, what did I say? Hulk. Hulk. Oh, there you are. OHLC. OHLC is open, high, low, close. That's probably from the 2 tips up here that I had. OHLC, I'll explain that very quickly for you. OHLC stands for open, high, low, close. There's 2 types of this. There is OHLC and there is OLHC. So open, high, low, close, and there is open, low, high, close. It's pretty self-explanatory if you just like once I've said it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's like we open, we make a high, then we make a low, and then we make a close. Now the other way around is we open, make a low, make a high, and then a close. Let me just draw this out in a candle for you. So we open, let's say we open here, yeah. We then make a high, then we make the low, and then we close. So the way that would work is we open here, make the high, flip and make the low, flip and make a low down here, and then we close. So if we just draw that out, that's how it would look, like this. Open, high, low, close. Now the thing about this is that is a bearish candlestick. So that is bearish. This OHLC is a bearish confluence. Now OLHC, which stands for open, low, high, close, if I just draw that out now, is the other way around. So we open, make the low, make the high, and then close. So if we draw that out, let me just change the color, green. So we open, make the low, which is the wick, flip and make the high, then cool down and close. Yeah, that's just how it works. So you can use this on the daily time frame with AMD, and the way this would work is we would open around about here, manipulate to the downside, and then distribute to the upside, cool off, and then close, which would take us into the next candle where we might manipulate to the upside, then distribute to the downside, and then close, and then cool off. And that's basically how price works. That's obviously a very clean example, but that's how it works. So we would then have a bearish candle like this. If we just draw that out, we'd have a bearish candle that looks something like this, where we consolidated, then wicked to the upside, which was the manipulation, then distributed to the downside, which is the body of the candle, cooled off, and then closed around about here. Does that make sense? So not only does it work with AMD, but if we've got a candle like this, right? If we've got a candle that looks something like this, yeah, then we go back to this step over here. Where we open high, then make a low and close. Actually, sorry. Oh yeah, sorry. Let me just change the color. I confused myself there. So let's say that we have a bullish candle here, yeah? We've got an open, high, low, close. We open, make the high, but we haven't got a low. We haven't got a bottom wick. Now, this is called a bunch of things. I think it's called, like, the devil's bookmark or whatever the fuck you want to call it. I just call it the wick trick because I figured this shit out myself. I figured a lot of shit out myself, but this is something I not came up with because I didn't just decide it works, but it's something I found out myself. I call it the wick trick, and I've just recently seen it somewhere else. So someone might have just nicked my name, or probably more likely, 2 people have found the same thing. Now, the way this would work is because we've opened, made a high, we would then anticipate to make a low and then close. Because we haven't got a bottom wick, we haven't got that low yet. So we'd anticipate that. So for the higher time frames, you can use OHLC as AMD. So you can go to the daily time frame and see this and basically call, or like let's say this was on the daily time frame, this would be a lower time frame manipulation. Now, if you've seen this on the 15-minute, you would just expect the candle to flip and continue down, which would be obviously relative to the time frame a lower time frame AMD cycle. So you can use OHLC two ways. In that example, I used it as AMD. I basically said the daily candle doesn't have a bottom wick, so we're probably manipulating and we're going to continue down and have a nice move to the downside. And let's see if the daily closed with no bottom wick. There's no daily there with the bottom wick, apart from this one, but that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about it probably up here somewhere. So you see how that works. I can't remember the day. I can't remember the candle, sorry, but you can see there's no candles with bottom wicks, which means the trick probably worked. Maybe here. I'm not sure. It was somewhere over here. Anyway, that's how you use OHLC or OLHC. Hope that clears things up. But I can't really confirm a sell until we get a candlestick pattern, really. If we get a nice candlestick pattern, we've got the opposite of the opposite one we wanted to see. But if we get a nice bearish candlestick pattern, maybe you could look at taking sells. But if you look at the time, we are coming out of a volume time. We've got an hour left. So if we don't do it in the next hour, it's going to start slowing down. The price action is going to start slowing down, which means we're probably not going to get a continuation until tomorrow, maybe. So that's what you want to do. Maybe just wait till tomorrow, but see what happens. Up to you. I can't really confirm the sell that will happen today. Maybe by tomorrow it will have happened. It looks like it's going to happen. If this was inside of volume time, I'd be more confident. No problem. I'm glad I can help. Let's see what GJ's doing. GJ is just chilling. Hopefully this is the start of the consolidation. If we can get like 3 or 4 more candles, then it's going to be a valid accumulation. If we get 3 or more candles like this. But yeah, I think we just got to chill now. Chill and wait. If anyone's got any more questions, I'm done. I got nothing else to explain. Got nothing else to share. Make sure you like the stream, guys, by the way. Really does help out. If you're new here, check out the free Discord. Sorry, a bit gassy. Link in description. First link in description. It's where I do my market outlooks. I show you what I'm going to see, what I expect to see for the following day before we do these live streams. But yeah, nothing else to share, guys. Seems like no one else had any questions, so I am done for the day here. We're just going to wait and see what happens on GJ now. As I said, I have not lost a single trade so far this month. There's been, I think, 1 or 2 break-even trades. But other than that, 0 losses. Everything else was a win. So I'm looking to secure that for this month. I'm not going to lie. I'd really like to say I haven't lost any trades for the whole month of September. But yeah, we're just going to wait and see. If this happens, I will take it without a doubt. But yeah, that's me done. No problem, Dan. Happy to help. I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time. I hope if you take any trades, they go well. All that lovely stuff. Don't forget to like the video, like the live stream, blah, 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 blah. Join the free Discord. That's the most important part. First link in the description. Free course and free market outlooks. The free course and outlook are exclusive to the Discord, so click the first link in the description and I'll see you there. Thanks for tuning in. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you at the same time